Welcome back, everyone. Going into the fourth final hour here of week 36. Adam, what is up?
So the group of you are in the you're in the inn, discussing politely what to do with your ill-gotten gains. And I think that you're pretty much the only people in the tavern. I think maybe you, Enoch, you've noticed. No, you know what? Let's have you make a perception check. Let's see if you've noticed.
This'll go well.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what's been going on, depending on how well you roll here.
Did you say Ramus or Enoch?
Enoch, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Enoch. I'm listening for Enoch, but I'll get used
Do
to
you,
it.
yeah, do you want me to pronounce it that way?
I think Enoch is how I imagined it.
Okay.
Because he says his name
Enoch?
like, my name's Enoch. Like he says it like
Well,
that.
and that's the thing. One is a biblical name. Enoch is a biblical name. Enoch is a like a American South name. Like
Yeah, so he probably tries to say in biblical, but
Enoch.
not knowing, of course, what the Bible is. But perception, he said, right?
Yeah, right. We call him Nucky. Yeah, perception.
19, not bad, actually.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the past few weeks, you've maybe noticed that the clientele of this place has diminished over time. You know, it used to be a popular gambling place, but it slowly kind of has been hemorrhaging clientele until there are many nights in a week where you're the only ones who are here.
And is that because he lets, or maybe this is for me to find out. So
Yeah, well,
I
that's the
noticed
thing.
that. Yeah.
You have noticed it, and it becomes maybe while the other two, because you have a minute where you're like, okay, these two are arguing about a cloak, and you like look around and you're like, shit, it's like dinner time basically. Where is everybody?
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of the malaise of the two of them arguing fills my head. I'm just like, oh God, I've heard this way too many times. And I look around the room, see that it's kind of dead. Do I see what was it, Seriah? The inn owner?
Seriah.
Seriah.
Seriah Aldahai. Yep.
Okay. Do I see him standing there, or being somewhere?
No, I think he's just like you're paying to stay here. He assumes you're not going to steal anything, so he's probably like somewhere else in the building. Like he's upstairs or he's
Okay.
in the back room, like because he lives here.
Is there like a bartender?
No, he's the only employee.
Oh. Okay, well, I turned.
You could shout. He could hear you if you shouted.
I'm
for
not
him.
going to shout. I turned and Lamech, I'm going to go talk to Seriah real quick.
Or not.
See what he's up to.
It's like, yes, sir. Of course, sir.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Make sure these don't kill each other. If they start fighting, though, don't stop them. You'll die. It's just a figure of speech, okay?
He's like, yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, I'd start walking upstairs.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you head upstairs, and you find yourself up in the what's normally like it's normally a common room. So there would normally be like a bunch of cots and stuff, and like everybody sleeps in one room, but you're the only one staying here. Nobody else is staying in this inn. So you go upstairs. There's a hallway. On one side is the big common room. The rest of the place is his apartment. Yeah, so you're in this hallway.
Okay. Yeah, I walk down to his door.
Okay. The as you get closer to his apartment, you can smell a familiar smell. It smells of strong coffee, tobacco smoke, a little bit of hashish, and then the ever-present chemical smell of the brass treatment stuff in the air. His door is open, and you can hear him in the other room. I think he's humming to himself.
Okay. I knock on the door and poke my head in.
Yeah, just
Hey,
knock it. It swings open.
Seriah, it's Enoch. You gotta.
Yeah, you see him. He's in his front room. His floor has the nicest thing he owns. And I don't know, have you been in his apartment before?
Yeah, I think we've had conversations. We're probably friendlier.
He considers you a friend. Yeah.
We're friendlier than most because I'm a human.
Yeah. So he has in the center of his room. You've seen it before. It's his prized possession. It's a rug, like a hand-woven rug. It's this big red and gold cloth rug. It's worn, super worn, but he loves it. It's in the middle of the room. He has this big overstuffed armchair that he claims took a giant to get up here. Right? He knew a giant once who like brought this chair upstairs. He says the heaviest chair anyone has ever built. He had to have the floor specially reinforced for it. So he's this huge chair. Everything in here has that musty tobacco smoke like smell. And then he has a big bookshelf. He's a big reader, this guy. And so you find him humming to himself, sitting in his chair. He's wearing just like loose clothes because it's hot as hell. He's wearing loose clothes. He normally wears like a turban, but he has it down right now. And he has his long hair just kind of like braided over one shoulder. I think he's in his mid-50s. He's a man who's seen some shit, but has come to relax. And he has in his hands a quite a large parchment like book. And he's humming and looking at the book when you come in. And he has a hand-rolled like cigar kind of thing sitting smoking in a tray next to his seat. And he looks up and he takes off his little reading glasses and he says, Enoch Effendi, welcome. What can I do for you? Do you and your friends need food, drink?
Oh, no, we're fine. Thank you again for the hospitalities. It's been great staying here.
And he looks at you. Have you cleaned up since your little like trip to the sewers?
Oh, yeah. Idris won't let me go anywhere if I'm a mess. So
Right.
probably
Okay.
right when we exited, he was there with cloth in hand to rub the blood out of the breastplate.
Sure. Yeah. So he looks at you and he says, "You're looking well. I presume the business you were on this afternoon went well. How much does he know about what you've been doing in this neighborhood?"
Probably nothing.
Okay.
Unless,
So you just told
unless
you were
Berg
out
or
on
Ramus,
business.
yeah, unless Berg or Ramus is shared with him, I don't tell them about what we do.
He does not like Berg. He refuses. He's never spoken directly to Berg.
Sure.
He does that thing where if he's talking, he needs to impart information to Berg. He tells you instead, and Berg happens to overhear. Yeah, Berg does not exist to him.
Okay. So yeah, he asked me how it went well. Yeah. Yeah, we had some good conversations. Say,
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder how's business going for you? Seems a little dry out there.
He wrinkles his forehead, and the first thing he says is it's his pride denying it, and he says, "No, no, of course,
I
everything is going very well.
Enoch, you
My
can't. Enoch knows. Okay, there's no one out there. We're the only ones. I hear my own voice echoing downstairs right now.
And he laughs and he says, "Well, with loyal customers such as yourselves, what need do I for business? You keep my bills paid."
For now, I'm just saying. Maybe if you opened up a little bit, just let some folk in.
So you want him to be real with you?
Yeah.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
All right. 8.
Got an 8. All right. So no, he's a very proud guy, right? There's something else going on. Maybe you could make an insight check if you want to figure it out, but he definitely, from what you can tell, he's just very proud, and admitting that his business on the rocks would be lowering himself in your eyes.
Okay. I don't think I need to. I mean, I'll roll the insight check to see it's not going to do well. It's a 12.
Okay. No, so yeah, this is the way you normally interact. He wouldn't admit weakness to you. So he says he stands up and comes over to you and kind of puts his arm around your shoulder and he says to you, "You should not be worrying about me, young man like yourself. I am not your grandfather. Everything is fine, Enoch." And he kind of like leads you over to the window, which you can see he's recently had the gunk like scraped off the outside, so you can still kind of see the neighborhood. And the back of the building looks out on a little shared courtyard. You can see strings of laundry hanging. Everything has this kind of grayish green tint to it because if you hang your laundry out here, it turns color. There's an open area with like you see some kids playing. They're not human kids though; they're halfling kids.
Right.
You can see them playing with a ball, and he says, "You have no need to worry. Everything is just as it should be."
I understand. You know what you're doing. I'm just saying. What do you see right there? I point to the kids.
He looks down, shakes his head. I see children at play.
I mean, those are potential. Those are customers right there.
He shakes his head and he says, you know that this is no place for children.
Well, you say that, but there's no written rule that says that. It's your own made-up rule. It's costing you business. Just saying, I want to be able to revisit this place in the future, and if you keep letting only people like me in, well, might not be here for long.
But, Effendi, people like you and I are why this place is open. The tides of fate are fickle. Things become better, things become worse. He shrugs. And then you see him kind of sniff the air, and he like leans into you a little bit, and he says, Effendi, have you been visiting someone special? And he like kind of prods you and he says, don't try to lie to me. I can smell a woman's perfume. A woman of high class.
I think
and he looks at you conspiratorially like, ooh, tell me everything.
Yeah, I think when he says like a woman of high class, my face goes blank and I just kind of like stare off into, I look 1,000-yard stare at whatever I'm currently staring at, maybe the children. Like I have like a mental flashback of my wife just flashes into my head. And then I come back and he's just like egging me on and stuff like that. No, it's some. I found it when we were out having business talks with folks. You know me.
He does not believe you. He's like, yes, of course, you came across the perfume of a beautiful woman lying in the street in this district. Do not lie to me, my boy. Please, you can trust me. Think of me as your confessor. What was she like? Did she have... And he like kind of makes a like huge bosoms gesture.
Well, come to think of it, it was actually two, really for the price of one, as you would say, because they were both halflings, and they're actually in my room right now, believe it or not.
He kind of like he's taken aback, like he's not sure if you're fucking with him or not. So he kind of like...
And I say, you see that look right there? That means you just lost business. I don't have two halflings in my room, but I could.
He puts his hands out and he's like, Effendi, you know, the only reason I am upset about this idea is that they did not pay for their time in your room. And besides, if you had two of anyone beautiful following you around, I think your company would have changed. And he kind of looks pointedly at the ground as if to mean like your friends downstairs. He says, in my experience, you keep only the ugliest of company. And he like laughs and swats you on the arm.
I don't laugh back and look down and say, that's kind of rude. Call my friends ugly. I mean, that one over there, he's just got broken tusk. If he got that fixed, it'd be fine. And the other one, I look at Ramus. No, that one's ugly. You can call that one ugly whenever you want. He's seen better days.
And he laughs. He chuckles when he says that. And he says, besides, coming from me, this old goat, yeah, everyone is beautiful by comparison.
You got that right. Well, I just wanted to talk to you, make sure everything's okay. If you need any help, let me know.
While the two of you are having this conversation, downstairs, Berg and Ramus and Idris, Lamek, and Naba, you're all at the table. Are you... have you ordered drinks already? Like, are you drinking or eating? Or like, what's the situation here? I'm just curious. Like,
yeah, I would think we're eating and drinking. We're relaxing after that fight, that big fight.
Okay. So on the table, yeah, there's like plates of I think it's like shared. It's like a shared meal kind of thing. So you have different plates of food, and then you all have like flatbread that you're eating with. You're eating with your hands. So we see
family style
kind of run the food. Yeah, and so you're at the table, and I think you hear like a voice outside. You can't make out what they're saying, but they're speaking loudly. And then you can hear kind of the like murmuring of other voices. And if you look at the window, you can see like vaguely through its fog that maybe like a crowd has gathered outside. And there's some like loud, like someone has begun like a speech to a crowd or something.
Have we've long rested, or have we or do we just? Is this us coming straight back and we haven't done nothing?
This would be like you'll have if you want to have taken a short rest, that's fine.
Short
but
rest.
it's the same day. It's like right away after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're short resting right now, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So let's have you roll whatever your hit dice. I'll give out your experience for the short rest.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm at full, so
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
nice.
I don't remember what I was at. I just hit 47. Fuck. What was I at?
You were low. I know that.
I was low, yeah. Somewhere like 13 or something like that. Sound right?
I don't know.
Somewhere in there.
What's your
well,
total
if you can't-
HP?
47.
You were. I think you were double or single digits. I think you were
Was that
close.
single digits?
Yeah.
I thought I got some back because I hit.
Let's call it.
and got
Let's call it.
necrotic.
Let's call it 13, and we'll go from there. It doesn't. It's not
Okay.
super. And then it'll be like, well, you should have been
Alright.
a 4. You're dead. The crowd outside kills you with their face.
You get hit dice equal to your level, right?
Yeah, you should have 5
Okay.
that you can use.
9. We're at 20.
And then I'll. I should get my calculator. I'll figure out experience for those trolls and stuff.
22. Let's roll again. Bam.
Nice.
Hey,
Nice,
look at that.
nice.
We're at
We'll do one more.
35. 5. Yeah. Do another one.
Oh.
2, 3. Do another one. I only have 2 more left.
Oh.
Another 3.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, and final one. Come on, get me there. Hey, close enough. Actually, that's full health.
Okay, there were
Exact amount that I needed.
8 Zvarts, 1 Zvart Warlock of Raxavort, and
So I'm still at 1 level of exhaustion now since we
correct, yeah.
haven't done a full rest, and I got 2 rages left.
Okay, so divided
Oh yeah,
by,
shit. What's that XP? Depending on how much it is. Ooh, things could get interesting.
divided by 1, 2. There's 3 of you, right?
Now things can't get interesting.
Everybody gets 1,334 experience.
1,300 and what?
1,334.
1,334.
So we're at 780. 7834, Dan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, 7834.
Dope.
1,334.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 12,730. Getting close.
What is 6?
14,000.
14,000, yeah. We got a while.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say you had, Max?
Close.
What's your total right now?
12,730.
Oh wow, yeah, you're getting there. Okay.
In there.
All right. So yeah, there's this sound outside in the little like the street out front of the building.
We all hear that, or just them?
I think just the.
I think
the
you're
guys-
upstairs, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the guys in the front room. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The hell is that, Remus? You hear that?
Something's outside. People are talking.
Sounds like a lot of them. Should we check?
Might as well. I guess we both get up and go to the window to just look out and see what we can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The windows are impossibly fogged on the outside by disgusting sludge.
Can we hear better now that we're at the edge of the?
Yeah, but you don't understand what they're saying. You can hear a faintly. It's one person talking, and they're speaking loudly, and it sounds kind of amplified, like they're speaking to not a loudspeaker, so it doesn't exist, but like speaking to a cone to like amplify
Yeah.
their voice.
Mhm.
It's echoing a little, and then there's some like other murmuring sounds like voices, but you can't really make out without opening the door and going outside.
Yeah, I guess
We can open the door.
open the door and look out.
Yeah, so outside in the street, there's a gathering of about, I don't know, like a dozen or so, and they seem to be growing in number, a dozen or so halflings. They are dressed in the varying degrees of like having removed, but the halflings in this neighborhood have thrived because the tunnels, the subtunnels where these brass deposits form, they're small, right? So the halflings can crawl in there and scrape away the brass and drag them out. They have these outfits that protect them from the heat because on the bones of the city it gets quite hot. So these sort of like overalls they wear, then they have hoods and cowls. Most of them have taken their hoods off because they don't wear them when they're working, but some of them still have like, you know, the rubber like gloves under one arm. And they're all standing, there's this group of workers standing around. And then one of them, there's a halfling woman standing on a box. She's got a little like wooden box, and she's standing on it. And she's speaking to the crowd, but you don't understand what she's saying. The syllables are kind of similar to common, but the words that she's using, you can't make them out. And behind her, there is a younger, like a male halfling, a boy with big bushy sideburns. He's holding a wooden pole, and at the end of the pole, there's a big red flag. And on the flag, there is a symbol of like a big yellow or like gold like wrench. And it's just kind of like fluttering a little bit behind her, and she's speaking to the crowd. And occasionally, someone in the crowd will like raise a fist and like say something, and she'll point to them, and like she's not just delivering the speech, but she's talking to them. And sometimes they'll like say something or ask a question, and she'll answer. And they're kind of getting like riled up. And she keeps, you notice, I think when you open the door, she's pointing up at the inn while she's talking.
Well,
They don't seem too happy.
Well, this isn't good.
Seems like they're rallying against the owner. He is, shall we say, prejudice. Is that the
I
word?
like him. He's awesome.
No, really. Is that
Nicest
the
guy
word?
I've ever met. How dare you?
Ramus, did I use that word properly?
I don't know. That was pretty good. I think you used it correctly. Good
Oh,
job.
thank God. I was worried for a moment. Prejudice.
So I think that she notices you've opened the door, and she sees you, Ramus, and she points kind of sternly at you. She's wearing the same like workers, like the generic sort of workers garb, but hers, she doesn't look like she's been in the mines today. Hers is fairly clean. She's got a little like cap on, and the kind of overalls of the workers. She has what would normally be like long brown hair, but she's got it up in two little like Princess Leia like buns on the top of her head. And like all the other halflings, she's short, doesn't wear shoes, is stout and rosy cheeked. But she's got a fiery kind of affect to her. And she points at you, and as if your emergence into the scene has proven a point that she just made. And she points, and the rest of the halflings like look at each other and nod. And one of them like hefts a wrench onto his shoulder and looks at you like, ugh, like he's disgusted.
I think Berg like looks around like,
No, I don't think they're pointing at you, Berg. They're pointing at the cursed human. I see you pointing at me.
And the halfling, she like nods and like kind of shakes her head and says something to the crowd. And there's some like chuckles in the crowd, and she looks at you and kind of shrugs, like she's just made a joke at your expense.
Do you speak common, madam?
And and then she says something again and kind of like bobbles her head and like waves her little chubby hands, and everybody like there's a titter that runs through the crowd.
Well, then I would like to I speak Dwarvish, so I'm gonna curse at her in Dwarvish and call her a rude ninny bottom.
It's a stronger insult in Dwarvish.
Yeah.
So when you speak Dwarvish, I think that there's like a grumble in the crowd that they're like look at each other like you've just proven a point, and they're like the guy with the wrench looks at you like he sneers. You can see he's got like he's missing a tooth, and he's got kind of like an iron tooth next to it. And he looks at you and he shakes his head and like pushes a lock of hair out of his face. And you're starting to sweat now that you're outside because the heat from the just from the brick and from the ambience of the neighborhood is starting to get to you. But yeah, by like insulting her in Dwarvish, they all like oh yeah, see, of course. And I think she points to you and says something to them. And then they kind of turn back to her, and she's pointing at the building again and like shouting and waving her hands.
Berg thinks we're just talking in different languages now, so he just says, "I don't know what's going on in Orcish," and then goes, "Eh."
Yeah. So I think at this point, she kind of finishes her little like speech. Like she says a bunch of things. There's some like shaking of fists and nodding, and then she points one more time up at the building and sort of shakes her head. And then the crowd they start to like disperse a little bit. Like she gets down from the box. She's talking to the boy, the halfling with her, and they're having a conversation. And a third halfling that was like kind of behind the box, she's handing out pamphlets. She's got these like folded pieces of parchment that she's like handing out to people. And yeah, the crowd is like dispersing a little bit. And what do? Do you go back in the inn or do you stay outside?
I tell Berg, go get one of those pamphlets. She might give it to you. I don't think she'll give it to me. See if you can find out what it is.
Yeah. I guess Berg looks at him like, yeah, and then walks over and.
Okay. All right. So you walk over, and on it, it looks like these are like they're. Can you read? Like that's a legitimate question. Can Berg have we talked about
He
this
can
before?
see.
Well, it depends on what it depends on. I feel like what the language is on the thing. If it's in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're literate in the languages you speak, then it's none of those. If you're illiterate, you can't make it out in any language. But I just want to know which one it is.
I don't
I
know if he
think
can.
Berg can read, but he's not a strong reader.
Sure.
He can make out, most things that get him by, and usually he infers a lot,
You recognize the characters. You could sound out like this one makes a ah sound, this one makes a b sound.
Yeah.
But you're looking at it and you're like prooblab. And you're like, nope, that doesn't sound like a word I know. It uses the same alphabet as common, but it's not common. On the front, there is a name in large letters. There's a title. There is an illustration of a halfling, this tough-looking halfling woman, not the woman that was just speaking, but another one. She has a slightly more complicated, but still like kind of bun braid, like hangy down like haircut, and she's standing up on top of what looks like a cart of brass like piping. And she's holding her wrench up over her head, and there's like a sunburst of light behind her. It's all very like Soviet propaganda looking. And then there's a bunch of like text on the inside that you can't make out. But you go over, and this halfling, this girl hands it to you, and she says in common, she goes to hand it to you, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not in common language." And she looks kind of apologetically up at you.
I'll figure it out.
And she kind of like holds it back. Like she's not sure she's supposed to give it to you or not. You could just snatch it out of her hand if you want.
Yeah, Berg just snatches it out of her hand.
Okay, so you yank it, and she like makes a little squeal, like a little startled noise, like ah, as you take it, and she says, she says, there, do you just take it and turn away, or do you stay and talk to her? Do you let her like?
I kind of like take it and see her, like for look at it for a second.
Yeah, and she says, is to outline changes to neighborhood. Things too long have been bad for the people, and she gestures to like she means halflings, but that's just the translation.
While she's saying this, Berg's kind of flipping through it, like yeah.
She says,
I see.
But change is not only for the people, but is for all who suffer under hand of overlords. And she looks pointedly at Ramus and at the building. She says, Kazalo Station is belonging to brass workers, to miners, to those who live here, not to humans who come from Upper City to oppress us. And she looks pointedly at the manacle on your wrist, and she says, you are oppressed too, I think.
No. That was a long time ago.
She says, so then that one, and she looks at Ramus, and what do we see? The camera cuts to Ramus. Ramus, what are you doing?
I cast thermaturgy, and my eyes are now glowing white.
Thaumaturgy.
We cut over to Ramus just being like, Okay, sure. So we cut back to her, and she says, "Is that man not your?" And then she says a word in Halfling because she doesn't know the common word. She's trying to
No, he is not my master.
Master, yes. Then you already rose up. You are free through work of your own hands. And she reaches up and like touches your arm when you say that. Like you're strong. Like not to be like she's touching your arm to be like I see you. You're strong. You won your freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she puts her hand on your and her hands are the calloused hands of a worker, right? Like you can see maybe on the back of one of her arms like a really nasty burn scar, probably from like the steam vents under the city. She looks like even though she's young, she's led a hard life, and so you feel the calluses on her hands when she touches your arm.
I think Bird turns his hands over too, just to show like the same calloused hands and like tough hands.
She says, "You may not know this, but that inn, the man who owns it, he is a bad man. He does not care for the people of his neighborhood. Only cares for humans, I think. This is what." And she turns to the woman who is standing on the box, who's now like out there talking to halflings and like shaking hands and stuff. She turns and says, "This is what Paulina speaks of when she is giving speech. Places like this are belonging to those who wish to only oppress us, to make this neighborhood cesspit for rich."
Yes. I'm not fond of that man either. But for now, in our circumstance, he is a necessary evil.
She looks at you, and you can tell that she wants to tell you something, or like she's about to speak, and then like looks over at Paulina, at the girl who was speaking before, and then you can see her think better of it.
And noticing that, I guess Bird's like,
What? Is there something you wish to tell me?
It sounds like you're trying to persuade her, but if you want to be intimidating, you could do that instead.
I was trying to persuade.
Okay.
Well, I do have a 1 in intimidation.
Right? That's the thing. It's easier.
All right, I'm gonna use
for you.
intimidation. I'm gonna use intimidation, but is there something you wish to tell me? That kind of thing.
More like a yeah. I know there's something you're going to tell me.
Yeah,
and
exactly like that.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
shit.
crit. That's a 21.
Okay. So she like takes a bit of a step back, and takes on a bit of like a childlike effect. Like suddenly you feel, maybe a tiny. I don't know. It's up to you whether you feel guilty or not. But you feel like you've just like yelled at a little kid. You know that she's an adult. She's an adult halfling.
I don't
But
feel good.
her like body language and the way she shrinks a little bit, you immediately have that feeling like you just yelled at a kid or like kicked a cat or something, right? Like, yeah, there is that, and how you react to it is up to you, but you have that feeling. And so she takes a bit of a scared step back, and she says, "Please, no, we do not have to be enemy. You are a friend of the people." And she like looks at the other people. We support struggle of half-orcs for freedom from master, as you say. We are on the same side of divide, I think. And she looks at the inn. She says, "Place you're staying is not safe. Not safe for you, for friends of justice."
What do you mean?
She shakes her head, and she says, "Only that this place cannot stand. That is inevitable fall. Is way of things."
You plan to destroy it?
She shakes her head. I know nothing else.
Very well. You may go.
Yeah, and I think at that point, like you see Polina notices you talking to this girl, and she shouts something in their language, and the girl turns and she says something back to her and nods, and turns back to you, and she says, change to come. We'll need strong arms to wield weapons of justice. Please consider. You could be of great use to our cause. And she kind of like smiles up at you, and then nods shyly and turns and runs back to her friends.
Berg, like looks at the pamphlet again and walks back to Ramus and hands it to him.
So what did she say?
Nice eyes.
Oh, thank you. I've been working on this. It's my new trick.
Well, it seems it's a uprising of sorts. They don't like the man in the inn. Perhaps they'd call him a fat frog.
There's that Whitberg.
Berg just like laughs like.
Anyways, she seemed to say it's not safe for us to be there. I don't know if they plan to do anything, but they are not happy.
Yeah, I think she specifically said it's not safe for you to be there. She's probably fine with, your friends staying in the inn for whatever is to come.
Sounds like they're planning on doing something. Maybe burning it down, for all we know.
Yes, we better go back in.
Yeah, you don't gather an angry crowd just to sing songs together like that. They're planning something.
Okay, so the two of you go back inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Enoch, you've come downstairs from being upstairs, I presume?
Yep.
Does Seriah come with you, or did you leave him to finish his book?
I mean, that's up to him. He started picking on my friends, and I'm going to go spend time with them. I'll see you later, buddy.
Okay, all right. So he stays upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I as I'm coming down the stairs, you guys are coming in the front door. Is that what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. Yeah.
Okay. I look back over the table. I still see my three peoples. They're still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I kind of look back over them, look at the door. What are you two doing? Why'd you go outside?
There was a big gathering of little people out there, and they didn't look too happy. Berg says they're planning on doing something to this place.
Does this place have like windows that I can go peer out of?
Yeah, they're basically opaque though.
Okay.
Because of all the sludge
Sure.
over the months that has like accrued.
I go up to the window and stare at it and try to like scratch through the sludge. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's all on the outside.
Yeah, I turn. Well, is it gonna happen tonight? Do we need? Berg, did you know about this?
I only just heard. I don't know when,
Well,
but
I talked to the owner. He's a fool. He's not gonna change. Seems like he's already too old. He's grown into it. If you guys want to go elsewhere, we can. I don't think we could save him.
By the way, how does Berg know what the next target is? Like, from Hassan or the tower?
It just kind of happens. Sometimes someone like in a crowd will put a letter in your hand. Sometimes you'll have a dream you need to interpret. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways that you've been given new missions by the tower.
Yeah, sometimes I hear just like a kid in the city just going, sweet tower, please send someone on.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, do we need to get out of here?
I would say yes.
Okay. Well.
It seems no longer safe for us to stay here.
They still out there?
No, they're gone. At least for now.
Well, I leave this to you, Berg. You make the call. We go somewhere else. We let this happen. We tried.
I do not feel bad for this man.
Do you want to kill him? We can do that now. We have that power.
Now, I don't know if we need to go kill him. He's got to meet his doom.
You are not very fun. I am not a fan of you.
Yeah, it's
Saying.
because I play by the rules, okay? When I die, I'm going to be dead. I look at you and kind of make like a disgusting face.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the idea of dying and coming back. Generally speaking, and this is both like commonly known, but also I think that because of what you chose when we did your move earlier on in the game, everyone can tell. Everyone can tell you ain't quite right, Ramus. There's something wrong with you, and the idea of a person dying, death is sad for the people that are left behind if they miss the person or whatever, because they're gone from your life, but their soul gets to go into the great cycle. It follows the wheel, and maybe they'll come back as something more enlightened until eventually they reach nirvana, and that's what everybody wants. But dying and being brought back, whether as an undead, whether preventing yourself from dying, that's bad news. It's not okay. People who are brought back from the dead are very, very rare, and it's considered more of a curse than anything. Because, like I said before, like Ramus, you would have been able to shed your karma, but instead you're just still accruing karma. You should have been dead. So I mean, I think that Enoch, it makes sense that if you know that Ramus died and got brought back, you're like, yeah. There's something not okay about that and about you as a result. But it also means you get a second chance to accrue worldly wealth and wisdom and to have a good time. And like, you didn't die; you pulled one over on the gods. So there's varying opinions about it. Sometimes people who are alive are just too scared of dying to give in, and that's how we give rise to things like liches or what have you. Yeah. And because I've noticed a lot of people asking, we haven't addressed it directly. No, Ramus, you died. So the bracer is no longer a thing. Only Berg has it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hazan would have taken it off and chucked it. So yeah, what do you guys
what are we
want
talking
to do?
about?
I'm posing to Berg and to you, like if we're leaving.
Oh yeah, that we're talking about we're leaving.
I say we go.
Well,
We don't have to kill this man, but we don't have to save him either.
Well, we are done here. I mean, we can just pack up and go. I'm fine with that.
I had my words. I did my best. He is stuck in his ways.
So Enoch, knowing that someone who has given you shelter, who has given you a home these past months, knowing that they and their business might be in danger, you feel okay just letting that happen?
What's the right word? My fear is my fear is already past. I've already lost everything. So the idea of losing something else is not even the idea of losing something else. It's just from what Berg and Ramus have preached. It's just the way of the world. Like, loss occurs and you move on. And so that's kind of how I'm approaching this situation. I tried to talk to him and tried to get him out of his ways, but he seems very clear and continuing to be the racist asshole that he is. And there's not much else I can do about that. So it's someone else's problem now. And
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
mourn
you're-
with the loss of my own way.
You've learned the lessons of the tower well then.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you just take a look around and you're like, well, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more respectful, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I like that. Drinking that tower Kool-Aid. All right. So so where do you go then? Do you say goodbye or do you just go grab your things out of the room and leave?
I mean, I think we start packing up. I'll work my way back upstairs and talk to him.
Okay. All right. So you're like, we're gonna get out of here, and you all go upstairs and start packing your things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, all that attention, all that noise. Your friend hears you, and he comes to the door, of the common room, which is noticeably empty, and he says, "Time for another expedition already. I would have thought you would at least have had the night to rest. I have some very good honey wine that I thought we could try with dinner."
Yeah. We'll catch that on the next one. But we gotta go. We're gonna find another place. I tried talking to you. You didn't seem to want to have that conversation, so we're going elsewhere, sir.
He puts his hand to his heart and he says, "We're going elsewhere? What do you mean? Where will you go? This entire neighborhood, there is no place more friendly than this."
Yeah. Well, maybe friendly to me.
I have shown you nothing but hospitality. Why do you find it's time now to pack your things and go?
You're not lying.
I don't understand.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's scared underneath this? Like if he's trying to act like he's scared, like he's not scared when he is.
Yeah, definitely. You can try to
25. Oof.
fucking cut right to the core.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you wanna know?
Like-
you can ask me things about him.
Like, does he seem scared because we're leaving? Like he's worried that if we leave that he'll be in trouble, that kind of thing.
So yeah, I think he's scared, but maybe not of that. I think what he's scared of is losing his only fucking customers.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
you're literally keeping him in business because, like he was saying earlier, he's like, it's fine. They have you. You are buying food and drink, and I'm overcharging you slightly so that I can stay open. But if you bail, then he's going to have to get new customers. And where is that going to come from? Right.
So what was the last thing he said?
Something about like, yeah, like you won't find anywhere more friendly. You're just going to like pack up your things and leave. I don't understand.
Okay. I'm just like, I know it's got to be tough. And I actually start walking towards him. And how much is it in, or how much was it for a night?
I don't know. I think he's been charging like slightly more than average. So I don't know what an inn costs per night off the top of my head. You'd think after all these years of playing Dungeons and Dragons, it'd be the kind of shit that I would have remembered. But
Okay. Well, is 10 gold
I mean,
too much?
I feel like, yeah, like for room and board, it's like a gold a day per person, basically. 'Cause
Okay.
That's all the food that you need for a day, and you can stay here. And
Okay.
treat
I walk
yourself.
up and go to embrace him with 10 gold in one hand. And I go to shake his hand and put my arm around his back and lean over to his ear. Say, this is for the next couple of days. They're going to come. We're not going to be here.
And he like looks at the money, which obviously he's not going to be like, hey, no, it's okay. You keep it. But he clutches it and looks at you and he's like, what do you mean they're going to come? Who is going to come? What's going on? And he's looking now. And now Ramus, now he's scared because you were like, they're going to come.
Yeah.
They're coming for you. And he's like, what? Who's coming? What ill fortune have you brought upon my house?
We'll see you in the next
Ill
life.
fortune we have brought upon your
Yeah,
house.
when he says that,
Scared.
he looks at Berg. He's like, "What misfortune have you brought upon my house?" And this is the first time he has ever made eye contact with you.
Anytime he look, yeah, and realizing that Berg's like, just says pointedly, staring blank into his eyes.
All things must end, you coward.
I start to walk out and collect my things.
Okay. So I think he as so many people do when he feels scared, he goes to anger, and so he's like, "You will never find anyone out there who will take you in. I was your only hope in this district. If I am not here, no one will protect you. You are all ill omens, bad luck. I will spread the word. No one will listen to you. And he's like shouting after you as you like gather your things and kind of like shitty old man. And,
I walk over to Berg before, like, Berg's probably about to say something. I just walk over to and
Berg's gripping his hammer pretty tightly right now.
Yeah. I walk over
Like,
go ahead. No, what are you doing?
No, I was gonna say I'm holding the thing and like the hammer just slips like this, like he's about to use it for something.
Yeah, it's like taking the clip off of your holster for your gun. You're just like, I'm not pointing it at you yet, but I could.
My arm comes up and like grabs your shoulder, and I look at you and say, "He's not worth it. It's already happening."
When he says that, I will go up to him and say, "Who are you going to tell? You've alienated everyone in this town. No one's going to talk to you. The shadow darkens your step, my friend. Beware."
So are you like legit like cursing him basically? Like those words, like I definitely think that in the lexicon of common there are things you can say that are like essentially like, you know, the devil take you, sir. But yeah, is that a thing you're doing? Are you using particular words to make him think that he's being cursed?
I'm telling him, I'm basically implying that his own actions has caused the tower to notice him.
Right.
Yeah.
You built the tower in whose shadow you now stand.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Your bad luck is your own fault. Okay, make a religion check.
Okay. 15?
Not bad.
Okay. So when you say that, you lean in and you're like, you made your bed, now sleep in it, essentially. We hear the faint crack of glass, and one of the lenses in his reading glasses has just like cracked suddenly. And he like takes a step back and he's like, and like takes them off and looks at them and like looks at you like, and he makes a sign of like warding evil, and just like, staggers back away from you and like hits the wall. That's like, he gets as far away from you as he can.
Sleep well, my friend.
I'm already out half the door, and I kind of see that happen.
Yeah.
I turn around. Ramus, you don't need to do anything else. We know what's gonna happen here.
Oh, we don't need to do anything. Things are already in motion, my friend. Let's go.
Okay. And Enoch, he started to like weep as you're leaving, and he's like, please. And he's fallen to his knees, and he's like, you know, pulling at his shirt in anguish. He's like, please do not leave. Please undo what you said. I cannot. And he's like stammering and like starting to cry.
I open the door and we all start to kind of exit, and I turn to him and say, "Friend, it's only gonna end once. Enjoy it."
Right. And then you close the door behind him.
I'm the last one to leave, and with the thaumaturgy, I extinguish every flame in the place. It's just darkness.
Right. And so even though it's daytime, the last thing we see as you slam the door is your former host, Seriah, on his knees, clutching at his clothes, bathed in this like sickly green light that comes in through the windows as you slam the door. And I think that's a great end. I think that's like a great place to cut to credits. So you just like bang, the door shuts. And with it, all the lights, all the candles gutter on the table and go out.
I think too, the door shuts and it gets like a close up on Enoch, and my face is just, my eyes are closed. I'm fucking real sad that I just left my friend to basically die, but I know there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just gonna accept that. And that's
nice.
That's where we'll end. This is gonna be a depressing season.
Oh man.
I mean, that's
the thing, right? Like there was a thread on the community forum about like, what would it be like if RollPlay did an evil campaign? And I was like, well, you know, this next season of Court of Swords isn't going to be evil exactly, because we don't have good and evil in this world like that. But it's definitely going to be a little nihilistic. It's definitely going to be a little
superheroes.
Like, everything burns. So, yeah, that's great. I'm glad y'all are embracing it.
Yeah. All right, let's do some shout outs and we'll go record that Patreon video. Max, we'll start with you.
What's up? I'm GassyMexican, otherwise known as Max Gonzalez. I'm a variety caster on Twitch here. I've been playing pretty much, I think, a little bit of Friday the 13th. Still got to finish up Prey because I've been away for a bit, but I'm back now. So if you guys are interested in that, we'll probably be playing some Friday the 13th and other stuff to come. Star Trek Bridge Crew just came out, didn't it?
Yep, I'm playing that tonight.
JP's playing it tonight.
Yeah, I want to play that. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I got to get that set up. But yeah, check it out. I also do YouTube content. same thing, GassyMexican on there. And best way to follow me and know what I'm up to is Twitters. So good show, though.
Good stuff. Dan, some shout outs.
Hi, I'm DansGaming, slash DansGaming on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, easy to find. Variety streamer on Twitch. Currently between games, I don't know what to play. It's kind of the summer is always weird because a few things are coming out, so I don't know what to be playing. But today was an awesome episode. Ramus was my favorite character, and I'm glad to be playing him again. And he's now like evil, dark Sith Lord Ramus now.
I mean, let's be real. He was always kind of an asshole, but
Yeah, but now he's like got the backing of the gods to be an asshole. Like he gets purpose. His purpose is to be an asshole. He likes that. So yeah, this has been fun. I'm enjoying this character.
Cool stuff. Adam, last but not least, some shout outs.
Yeah. So first things first, head over to community.itmeJP.com and check out that Q&A thread. I've posted it in the chat if you're watching this live. If not, pop over to the community site and check it out after the fact. If you're interested in the deep dive, super spoilery lore for Court of Swords, I did my first kind of GM hangout thing over on my Twitch channel. And you can find it now on YouTube. I released it right before the episode, so I'll try to do those pretty regularly. You can find those just by using the links over here. Otherwise, you can find me at twitch.tv/Adam Coble or on Twitter at skinnyghost, talking about RPGs and playing video games.
Cool. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode. We should be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, 4 o'clock Eastern, right here. If we're not, we'll post about it and all that nonsense. If you need that translated to your nearest time zone, go over to schedule on itmeJP.com/schedule rather, and get that sorted. We're out. We'll see you next week. We're going to record that Patreon video. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.